Hello, welcome to From the Car, my what I'm thinking segment. Here we go again. Got a busy week. It's been a busy week, right? Let's go through it. Let's start with where we just came from. The Everton match. Did we learn? Did we learn anything from that match? Did we learn that the teams will come out and play us a different style now that they know that if they don't, they will get punished? Do we know that our midfield is really critical to our success, and if they can control the midfield, we lose? And this is nothing new. Nothing that we saw on the weekend is new to Arsenal, because that's pretty much how we've been punished over the years. If we lose the midfield, we would lose the match in terms of control. We knew what their lineup was going to be, so we should have had an answer for that. When can we say, you know what, Arteta had an answer for either the players that are playing on the pitch? What the scenario is not the first time we're playing a coach for the whole new manager bounce kind of concept. We need to squash that. We need to eliminate that from like the vocabulary every time we play a team that's low on the table. I mean, a team that's in the relegation zone. They're not really relegation level, but still, we needed to redeem ourselves from the previous match, right? We need to know, did we learn going into the cup matches that we're going to have to play a better, have a better answer just when we go to our bench? It doesn't look like it. We didn't get the win. They were able to score with one of their defenders scored on us, and we didn't offer as much as we would have liked in that match either. So now we're on a 2-game losing streak. Yes, Cup, Premier League are different squads, but it's a trend. As a whole, the team is lost twice in a row. It hasn't looked really good in the last 2 matches, and I don't believe we rotate well. And I believe we always needed to rotate, and we don't do it enough. Because, as many people have said, Arteta likes to play his strongest 11 no matter what. Well, if that's the case, then your bench has to be as close to, if not equal to, the levels if you're going to do that, because you're going to have to rotate. It's not really a question if, it's when you rotate, and it's better to have the same levels on the bench. Did we learn in January window we needed to go as strong as possible? I have a feeling we might rue the day if we don't win the league this year, because next year is going to be a little tougher, right? I mean, I can see us. Can we really believe we're going to have 50 points after 20 matches next year? Easily based on what we're seeing in the league. It seems like teams will be infused with a lot more money than they had before. Newcastle probably will spend big. We expect United to spend big. And it seems like they will be able to with the news, and we'll get into that as well. So yeah, I think Arsenal probably should have taken that risk this January and went out and got everything they wanted, and worry about that in the summer. If you're a Premier League winner, you're a Europa League winner, whatever it may be, you can look back and say, that was money well spent. We didn't do that, and hopefully, the Everton match and kind of the scenarios going into the City Cup match, all of that is we don't have to worry about it, right? Partey getting injured, Partey coming in not looking 100%. Hopefully, if he's not going to be able to play up to par, then he shouldn't play, because it just brings everything down. So it's a weak link, right? And we don't cater to that either. So if he's not having 100%, then we don't play a style that definitely requires that he doesn't have to be 100%. It seems like he has to, and then that just weakens everything around him. Nobody takes up the slack, so nobody overperforms, nobody overachieves on the pitch around him, and then basically everything just collapses. And we see that a lot when we bring in certain players, and the levels drop, and everything around them drops, and we can't have weak links bringing down the entire ship. You know what I mean? I've heard talk about Trossard coming in for Martinelli, but then Trossard coming in for Xhaka doesn't seem like a good idea, when in reality it probably might be just as good for us. I think Martinelli Might need some support from somewhere. Maybe that's from up top, and because that would be he would play on the left if he came in for Xhaka, right? But yeah, no, something needs to change. We need to get a little bit better. I know we're ahead of schedule, but you're ahead of schedule and you're top of the league. Why not just throw money at the problem, right? It's not even a problem. Throw money at the situation and try to get this thing going. So, yeah, that's it for that game. So let's move on a little bit to what's going on right now in the news. Is City going to get punished for all the things they've done for about a 9-10 year period? Nobody believes that will happen. So all of this is just a lot of noise, and nothing's actually going to happen. There's a squeaky wheel that is going to put some oil on it. Hope it quiets down and then move on. If the FA, which my understanding is run by the 20 teams in the Premier League predominantly, then maybe they should actually go and do something about it if they think it's a problem. If your owners are worth a lot more money than a lot of other teams, then why not, let the rules be dictated and be implemented that way? If they're not going to do that, then what's the point? And, for me, it isn't the top 6 that needs to be, should be screaming. It should be the bottom teams that should be screaming, because why shouldn't they? I think even Arsenal is not one of these top teams that are going to spend. We've shown our discipline in the market, so why not? Why wouldn't we be screaming about, if you have the rules and you're not going to implement them, what's the point of the rules? And if I'm one of the teams that's getting punished for it because I can't, I don't want to cheat, if that's what happened, then then what are we doing here? Well, why are you in charge of this thing? Why am I part of it? Why can't I have a voice and have my voice heard? That's what the 20 teams should be. And I think the teams that aren't, breaking the rules. I mean, we've seen teams lower in lower divisions get punished for certain things that they've done wrong. If this is wrong and they can prove it, sounds like they have a lot of details that should show that it's proved. If not, this is just a lot of noise once again, and they're just waiting for the volume to get turned down and move on. Then you have the Manchester United, Qatari deal may be coming. If you're making billions of dollars, if you're worth billions of dollars, then how does it? I don't get how that. If we're talking about FFP, if that actually is a thing, it shouldn't really matter how much money the owners have, all right? Because everybody's under similar rules, and if it's all based off of how your club is run and your success and what that brings to you in terms of the money's in, and that's part of the deal in terms of what you can spend, then it's all about how you run your club and not necessarily just that you have tons of money sitting in a bank account somewhere. So we'll see what happens there. I don't think it will change much for United, because I think they're in a better place than they have been in many years. They've got a manager who's probably a lot more say in what they're doing. Their footballers look better, right? Players that we thought, that we always knew were good are showing up. So they're playing a better brand of football. It has nothing to do, I think, with only the tons of money that they're spending, but also the way that they're being managed on the pitch. So good for them, I guess. But I always said you rather have a manager that overachieves than have a manager that cannot do that, can't get the best out of their players. I think Arteta, is he overachieving from a performance standpoint, but is he getting the maximum out of his players? Some might say yes, some might say no. I think there are players that are overachieving, and there are other players that we just don't get to see. So then, no. So as a whole, probably not, because it's getting washed out by the players that don't play. And if you're not going to play the players, then why do you have them on your team, right? There's certain scenarios when you need to. I think last match people said we should have probably went with maybe Tomiyasu and Tierney in a game like that, or at some point in a game like that we should have went with them the way it was going. So we'll see what happens there. So that's it for the two Manchester teams, or some people might say Manchester teams, but yeah, we'll see what happens there. Is it a lot of noise? We'll see. Next, coming up, Brentford. I just saw a stat from Urbino. They have only given up 1 goal in like the last 5 matches or something like that. So they don't their defense has been solid for a while. We need to, shake that up a little bit. We haven't been shut out in multiple games like this all season. Can't make it 3, so we need to come in, get a goal earlier, as we usually start strong and quiet the Brentford bench basically, and have the crowd cheering for 90 minutes and basically run away with all the 3 points very quickly and easily. Yeah, we'll see. I haven't seen much about in the news whether Partey has been practicing or not, but the fact that it's quiet probably, for me, leads me to believe that we should probably see some changes. And, maybe if Jorginho is coming in to back up Partey, in the sense that when he's not available, we'll bring him in and we'll hopefully change our style of play to benefit him and those around him. We'll see what happens there. Trossard probably is deserving of a game. Anybody, if we got Mudryk in, then he would be benefiting for a game based on our performances now. So this is not it's probably a good time to do this. We have City coming up midweek, all right? So why not try to give these players some rest, and bring in the players that are healthy. Hopefully, Emil Smith-Rowe is ready to play, can come off the bench for us and give us some minutes. They've heard, I think I saw Jesus is back in London, so that hopefully is good, and hopefully we'll see him within a month or so. That's a good sign for us, that maybe that will energize the team in the sense that they know when he comes in how things will turn. And for those players that might be struggling and might not be giving it at all, or have another gear in them, just haven't been using it, they might find that gear and use it. So we'll see what happens in that match. So yeah, so Brentford for me is this is a really big test. We can't have 3 failure. We can't drop the points in 3 straight matches. Not where we are. We got a lifeline last week when City wasn't able to get any points. This week we need to get all the points we can, get all the points actually, and go into that and let all the other teams try to catch us. No matter what happens, the City match will be big for us. We win that, we get points from that. We'll be in a good spot. Be nice to have 8 points at the end of that, an 8-point gap, but we'll see what happens. We need to just do our job, one game at a time. This is the Brentford right now. We just need to quiet them, and we need to do what we do on offense and get the win and get out of there. So yeah, this is the WTT coming to you from the car, What I'm Thinking segment, and life is a journey. Don't waste the trip, enjoy the ride. All right, talk to you later.